Step 2 of how to remodel a house, finding a contractor. There is a part 1 to this video with some prereqs that I recommend you watching. But seriously, this is the most tedious and most important part. Not to get screwed, not to pay too much, not to pay too little, but to get what you want, what you need for a fair price. So I always do a minimum of 3 bids. That's 3 people actually showing up and giving you a good bid. So it doesn't count if you call 3 people and 1 shows up. No, like you need to have at least minimum 3 people show up and give you a bid. So how do you find the contractors? I go through Google search and type in pocket door remodel or bathroom remodel, and it'll pop up with a top list of like 5 different contractors. These you want to keep scrolling past until you get down to the more local people. From there, you want to look at the reviews. And from those reviews, you want to go in and click on the reviews and make sure that the reviews are being given honestly and not as a perk or a discount for leaving a review. And just an FYI, if you go through a website, let's say some females' names list, they actually sell your information to all of their contractors. So once they get your information for your project, be prepared because your phone is not going to stop ringing for like 3 days. It is insane. I do think I ended up getting a couple of bids from a couple of the people that did call. Some of them were nice enough to let me know that my information was sold to them. But just be prepared if you do go through a listing agent of some sort, you're going to be bombarded. Next, grab a pad of paper and a pen and keep notes of who you called, when they're coming out and what time, who you talked to, and just a little note about how they made you feel, like your first initial vibes. I like to choose a variety of contractors. For example, go to Home Depot or Lowe's and use one of their recommended contractors. They're always going to be the most expensive and pressure you the hardest to sign with them that day. Do not do it. You just want this as a baseline for the maximum amount that you're going to be spending. Unless they have a written cancellation period and it is written on the document you sign. So if it's 30 days, you can go ahead and sign that document, get that locked in price, get your other bids. And if you don't choose them, just make sure you cancel them within that 30 days. From there, schedule a couple of more contractors to come out. I would try and get the ones that you actually saw photo or video reviews of befores and afters so you know what they're capable of. When you're setting up the dates to schedule them to come out, you can do multiple in a day. I don't advise doing more than 2 because it just gets repetitive and you just kind of get tired of repeating yourself, and you want to be sharp for this process. You also don't want to get into somebody else's time slot. So if your first guy at 9 a.m. comes out and it's supposed to be a half-hour thing and you guys just mesh and it goes into an hour or hour and a half, you don't want to have another guy scheduled at 10 sitting outside waiting. So preferably do a morning appointment and an afternoon appointment. Be sure to take notes after and during the appointments because this is going to keep you on track. And a lot of my choices at the end of the day were how I felt about a company or how they made me feel. Were you judging me because I'm a female and you don't think that I know what I'm talking about? Or did you completely brush off the job? Whatever, just write it down, write how you feel about them. Or this guy was cool, we bonded over our cats, whatever. Also write down the ideas that they all give you. You can take the ideas from everybody and give it to one person. I've done that with a couple things throughout my projects that I got multiple bids on something. Each person had something awesome to put in, and I chose one person and said, hey, I want this, this, and this. And it worked out really well. If your project is going to require a permit or an electrician, make sure that the company you choose is licensed and bonded and has an actual licensed master electrician employed. You don't know the things I've had to deal with. Remember that you are the client and you are awarding the job to the person who suits you best. No one is doing you a favor. You don't owe anybody anything. You need something done and you're hiring the best company for the job. I think one of the hardest things about dealing with contractors is standing your ground, saying exactly what you want. If they're giving you other ideas, that's fine. Or if something is not possible, you need to work around something or whatever, that's fine. But if they are dismissing your main concern, like they're like, yeah, we can widen it to, 30 inches. I'm like, 36 inches is the minimum I need for the reason you're being hired. So you just have to really stand your ground, build up that self-confidence, and take on another persona if you have to. Do not let them push you around. Next is selecting and awarding the bid to the company of choice. So the most expensive is not always the best choice. The least expensive is not always the best choice. And the middle ground is not always the best choice. You have to find the most value wherever it is. If you're really needing to stay cheap and you want to take that risk and go with the not licensed guy, it's going to be easy. There's not a lot to it. You can take your chances on that. If you want to go the higher end route and not have to deal with anything and pay that price tag, that's fine. They are backed by Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever. And they want to have that good review, and they actually don't get paid from that job until that job is finished. So it's going to be done in a more timely manner, but it's going to be like probably double the price tag. Be prepared when you're dealing with brand name companies that their product is the best product on the market, that theirs is not even comparable to anybody else because they're so superior. Every single one is going to say that. Don't let them talk you out of getting other bids because they will. Do your due diligence. I always end up going with somebody in the middle, but I also go with my gut. Like, how did that person make me feel? Did they understand the assignment? Did they listen and validate my concerns? Are they going to be able to complete it in a timely manner? Do they have a 2-month wait time or do they have a 2-day wait time? Why do they have a 2-day wait time? I forgot to mention that you want to have all of that stuff on Pinterest that you saved ready and available to go through it with each contractor. Like, this is what I like. This is what I think is going to work. What do you think about this? Yada, yada. Next is awarding your bid. So this is where going through text and email is crucial. So from here up until the end of your project, you want to keep all communication in written form of some sort. So whoever doesn't get the job, I just politely let them know I've selected someone else just so that I'm not on their callback list. And I still have a good working relationship if I choose them to do a project for me in the future. For the person I select, I send them an email with the information saying, hey, I selected you for the job. You won the bid, whatever you want to say. Just to recap, these are the examples that we spoke about, and take those pictures I told you to save and copy them into the email. And then ask for a detailed, itemized quote of the project, including everything that they're going to be doing. Like, I had issues because one person quoted me the project and labor, and I had to source the doors, and that was difficult. So doable, but you got to know what you're getting into. And surprise, if you're unaware, the shiny, sweet sales guy is not the guy that comes out and does the work. So that's where you still need to be considering, is this the right company for the job? And if you need to back out when their team shows up. What you're going to be looking for with that is how they appear. Do they look like they just got off of a bender? Are they wearing company clothes? Are they driving company vehicles? There's nothing wrong with Jose and Santos from Home Depot at all. But when you're paying a price tag of a certain amount and they're just going to be going and getting labor for day labor, and when you're expecting like craftsmanship, there's a problem. If there is electrical involved, you need to ask for the ID, the license of the person who is going to be doing the electrical, and the master electrician has to be on site and present, even if he's not the one doing the work. So I had an issue, major issue with the electrical here, where qualified company, thousands of positive reviews, they sent out undocumented, no driver's license, no nothing people, and they would just send their master electrician out like every few days, and like, okay, they did the job wrong, we got to redo everything. I'm like, and I didn't know until I was dealing with the inspector of what to look for. I'll be doing a segment on how to report a company to the Texas Department of Licensing. Anyways, so once the workers show up and they seem competent, they're also respectful, you're not getting weird vibes, proceed with the project. Do your best to just be present the whole time. Don't just be like, okay, here it is, and walk away. Like, be right there. Ask the questions, be nice, bring cookies, whatever, they're on your team at that point. So it is you and them on the same team with the same goal, and you are the one with the vision. You need to make it happen and be able to convey what needs to be done, or if there's something not right, or if it's the wrong way, or whatever. You need to tell them immediately so they can fix it, or explain to you why they're doing it this way. So to recap, do your research, get a minimum of 3 bids on site. Stand your ground. Never sign something the first day that someone comes out and gives you a bid, no matter how much of a percentage they're going to give you off the job. Get everything in writing. If you're having an issue with a worker, make sure you're sending it through text or email to the owner or project manager that was assigned to you. If they're not doing their job, go up the ladder. Remember that the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and unfortunately, the construction industry is quite a bit behind than most other industries. So if you're a female trying to get a project done and you are being overlooked, not listened to, not respected, time to do a little bit of a verbal beatdown, as I say. Respectfully, of course. No, I told you I wanted a 36-inch wide pocket door, not a 28-inch wide door. This is my project. I want it this way. Can you do your job or not? Just as an example, that did not happen, just so you know. But also smile and bring cookies and kolaches and donuts, because you're all on the same team. It is a real battle from day to day, from contractor to contractor, who you have to be. Sometimes you get to be this nice, happy person. Other times you gotta lay down the excuse me, no. I hope this helps somebody. If you are in Southeast Texas or Southwest Louisiana and need a hand with something, please shoot me a DM. If you are in need of remodeling your home due to an injury, illness, aging, please give me a follow over at Mobility Makeovers. I do free consultations, and I would love to help you through this part of your life. Hope this helps everybody. I hope you have a great day. Thanks, and good luck.